Hey everybody, today we're going to make some really delicious southern collard greens, and they're not hard to make. They're just really delicious. I think that greens is an acquired taste. I don't think everybody probably likes them, but I love them. And if you've never tried them, you really should, because they're just really good for you, and they have a just a wonderful taste, I feel like. So the first thing I want to do before we get started with the recipe is I told you that I was going to get some sort of cart so that my workspace here wasn't loaded with my ingredients and all. So I did that, and it's right here, and I really like it. This will be the first recipe I do using it, but putting all the ingredients on it instead of on the stove was really great. So now I feel like the video is dark, but there's nothing I can do about it. If it is, I apologize. So the first thing we're going to do is I have this pot of water here. It's a fairly big pot, and I have it about a third full of water, and to that I'm going to add this whole container or whole package of smoked pork neck bones. You really need smoked meat for your greens. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on in. And this is going to cook for at least an hour, because you want the meat to just fall off and be real tender. So when it starts boiling, I'll cut it down. And then the next thing I'm going to show you is how I cut the collard greens. So I've already got them ready as far as cutting goes, except for these three, and I wanted to show you. They'll come in all sizes, the greens will, but they have this hard center that you do not want to put in your food. So you can do it several ways. This is my preferred way. I just take like a paring knife or a small knife, and I go on each side of that stem, pull it loose, and then my green's ready to go. Because you'll be cutting these, you can just leave it on your cutting board and cut the next one. And you can just do it like that. Some people want to pull it off, which I think like this, but I think that's too much work and a lot slower than the way I do it. But you do whatever you want to do. Once you get several, then just kind of wad it up and cut it. And that's basically all you do as far as getting them ready, other than washing them. This is 3 bundles of collard greens. And you want to really wash these good. Wash them 3 or 4 times and then wash them again, because there's nothing as bad as getting a mouthful of grit from your produce. So what I'm going to do right now is let the meat cook in the water, and it's just water, and the smoked pork, or you can use smoked turkey. It's real good too. And I'm going to wash these greens and let them be hanging out until we come back, and then we'll add them to the water, and we'll continue on with the recipe. So this is where we're at so far. Okay, our smoked meat has cooked in the water for about an hour, and what I did was I took the meat, it was on the bone, I took it out of the pot, and I picked the meat off of it, but I went ahead and put each bone back in to the broth, because it's going to cook for at least another hour and a half, and I feel like there might be a little meat left on the bone, which you know, you can get a serving with a bone if you want it and try to pick more meat off, and it'll also just flavor the food a lot better. So what I'm going to do now is add the rest of the ingredients, and then it's going to cook for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. You want to cook it until your greens are as tender as you want them, and then your food will be done. I personally like mine cooked really well done. So here is the broth, and like I say, it's got the bones in it, and I'm going to go ahead and put this meat back in. This smoked meat is really, really good. And then this is a fairly large onion, chopped up kind of roughly, but kind of small, not real big and not real small. Just put it in. And before I get to forget to say this, I'll say it now. But some people put like hot sauce or cayenne pepper or pepper flakes in this. And if you're a person that likes it hot, and you know that every time you eat it you're going to want it hot, then go ahead and put whatever heat you want in there. I personally sometimes like it hot, sometimes I don't. So I'm going to wait till I have some in my bowl, and then I'll choose what kind of heat I want, and I'll put it in at that time. That way I can have it, you know, whatever I want at the time. Then I'm going to put my seasonings, and I'm going to put some garlic salt. That's a little too much. That's about a nice big tablespoon. That was garlic salt, and this is onion salt. I put about a tablespoon of it. I'm going to add pepper, but I'm not going to put salt. And I put a nice big pinch of it. It's supposed to have the just chicken flavor, Norse bouillon. My husband and I have searched the kitchen over and cannot find it. So I like this tomato chicken flavor a lot. So I'm going to substitute. It's going to make the greens a little different tasting, but that's okay because I like this. But I suggest you just use the regular chicken flavor and not the tomato. And all these spices are done to what you like as far as the spices you like and the amounts you put in. I'm going to add some of the minced garlic. And I'll add pretty much because we like pretty much. That's a good healthy tablespoon, and then I'm going to add about a teaspoon also. I like my greens sweet. I like a lot of my food sweet, but I really like my greens to be sweet with vinegar. Those two opposite flavors just make the greens be so delicious. So on this, I'm going to put more sugar than you probably would want. But depending on how many greens you make, how sweet you like it, and all, you add some sugar to that. I'm adding Splenda, and I just broke my lid. I believe I can fix it. Yeah. Gonna give that a stir. And then you want to add your vinegar, and you want apple cider vinegar. You can add some now, and then if you don't have enough, you can add it straight on your plate when you eat. But this is really good to add as you cook. The flavor is just fantastic. So I like a lot of vinegar. And then we're going to add our greens. And if this fills up the pot, then we'll let it cook for a minute, and then it'll cook down some. And we'll just keep adding the greens until it cooks down enough that we can add all of them. So it looks like we might have to add this in batches. So that looks full. But it seems to be cooking down pretty fast. I believe I can go ahead and get all that in here. Also, if you make a large batch of the greens, they freeze real well. So you can make a large batch and then be able to freeze portions if you want to and get some when you want them. So that's that. So now what we're going to do is just leave I'm going to cover them, and after maybe an hour I will taste them and see if I need to add anything, but I'm going to let them go at least an hour and a half so they'll be really tender. And like I said, if you've never had greens, if you can possibly give them a try, they're really, really good and really, really healthy for you. So I will be back when these are done, show you what they look like, and we'll give them a taste. Okay, the greens have finished cooking, and not sure if you're really going to be able to see or not because it's dark in here, but that's what they look like. The broth is really, really good on them. These would be really good with some cornbread. So I'm just gonna get up a serving. That's what they look like. I'm gonna try to taste them, but they're awfully hot. And they went about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes to make them really good and tender. I'm trying to get a small bite because I don't want to burn my mouth. Well, okay, here is a bite. Those are perfect. That smoked meat just gives them a wonderful flavor. A little bit of sweetness from the sugar. And some Texas Pete or something right now would be good because I'm in the mood for it. But anyway, the smoked pork is delicious. These are just wonderful. So I hope you get a chance to try these. They are excellent collard greens. So I always appreciate you watching. I hope that you have a wonderful week. Take care of yourself. Thank you for all that you do for me. It's always well appreciated. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.